to the IG. All right. Racket number 1. Judge orders Oregon to pause its home buyer love letter ban. Wow. A U.S.
Crazy.
district judge agreed these letters can lead to discrimination, but said that the law goes too far in restricting free speech. I'm pulling right from the Inman article. There's a USA Today article out there. There's a whole bunch of sources that are covering this. You can look up any source that you want if you have a Inman paywall or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. District Judge Marco A. Hernandez on Thursday granted a preliminary injunction against Oregon's first of its kind ban on love letters, ordering a temporary halt to enforcement of the law. So love letter, I mean, we've covered this. You guys know what a love letter is. It's when a buyer presents a love letter to a seller, oftentimes through their agent, on all the reasons why that seller should select them as the buyer. Now, Nicole, remember, the law did not state that a buyer couldn't get this letter
to them
to
directly.
the seller directly.
Right.
That's right. So you just couldn't do it as the agent. That was really the law, right?
Or the ban, yeah.
The ban, yeah. The law does not prevent homebuyers from communicating directly with sellers. That is from USA Today. Now, on episode 199, we covered the Pacific Legal Foundation lawsuit against the state. Attorney Daniel Ortner led the lawsuit for PAC Legal Foundation. I said at that time, so I've got a little mud on my face here. Admittedly, I said at that time that this lawsuit was unlikely to win. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I may have even went as far as saying, it's more of a PR grab for Pacific Legal Foundation.
I'm assuming if that's coming back to you, that's probably what you said.
I may have said that.
I'm not
positive if I did. Bobby can certainly clip it in and make me look even more silly if he wants. But in the end, Pacific Legal Foundation took the case, and it looks like they have won the case. So hats off to them. They had agents that testified saying this would cause real pain and unhappiness for their clients. Certainly, if you're working with
as buyer, especially if you're a buyer's agent.
If you're a buyer's agent,
for sure. Like, what else do you have? Like, what's your tactic? Like, get rid of home inspections? I mean, there's only so many home inspections you can drop. Yeah.
It's really important for buyers to get this information to sellers, especially when you're dealing with a competitive market like we have right now. So for this to have been banned, this law or the love letter ban is now no longer in Oregon.
Right.
That'll bring a ripple effect throughout the country. NAR said last year they warned all of its members about these types of letters. Nicole, as an agent, do you just feel totally confident now presenting these letters to sellers on behalf of buyers?
And again, I mean, before the show, we were sort of talking about it. I had never really thought about the implications of it. If, God forbid, especially in this market with so many offers, like we're not talking about 2, we're talking about like 15. And then we're talking about 15 offers, and those other 15 have probably put 15 offers in another home. So again, the anger and frustration of the individuals that are losing out on these properties, they could do anything. I mean, they could, again, it still concerns me that they still could go after a seller if they were to catch wind of why they chose the other buyer. And again, so as a listing agent, I still am 100% warning my sellers on what could potentially happen. And if they choose to look at the letters they do, usually what I do is I'll give them the letter that won afterwards, so they at least know who the winner was. But again, as a listing agent, I'm not. But I'll tell you, I won a bid just last week off of a love letter. So as a buyer's agent, I am still 100% recommending all of my buyers to draft them. So
the ruling.
Yep.
Ortner, the attorney for the Legal Pacific Foundation, said today's ruling preserves the opportunity of homebuyers to speak freely to sellers and make the case why their purchase offers should win out. Love letters communicate information that helps sellers select the best offer. The state
The
cannot
best offer.
ban important speech because someone might misuse it. This is a direct quote from Ortner, the attorney. Now,
It's funny though, because again, in 199, you talked about how your parents picked a lower offer
yeah, they did.
because of the so like
Because it was a family.
so
Because it was a family. That family still lives there today.
Yeah, and again, you can't discriminate based on familial, but here we are saying that it's the best, like, they're saying that these letters are to help them get
Well,
the best offer.
and here's where the district judge Hernandez, he said that while there is significant circumstantial evidence supporting the idea, there was no actual evidence within the state that these letters have been used to discriminate when selecting an offer. So circumstantially, he could say, yes, I could see, to your point, Nicole, how somebody could get themselves into trouble by
Yes.
discriminating and that could happen. But Oregon didn't have any hard evidence. And by the way, the associations in real estate, with all their made up rules and code of ethics that they've pulled out of thin air and levied on their members, have also often come with no evidence. We have a situation in Connecticut that we know far too well where they changed the ruling on teams in the state. You have to now be called a certain name. You have to, pay extra money. You can only do X, Y, and Z. They made all these rules up January 1st in the state of Connecticut with no actual evidence. The Department of Consumer Protection in Connecticut and the Connecticut Association of Realtors, we covered it on a past show, with no actual evidence. So my hat's off to Hernandez here, the district attorney, for saying, hey, I could see how this could happen in theory, but we're not going to make a law on theory. I need evidence here
that
to
it's happened.
uphold this, that it's actually happening.
Yeah.
Because there is a constitution in Oregon and in America that he has to uphold. And it looks like he did his job and upheld the Constitution and the First Amendment of free speech. To your point, though, Nicole, as an agent, you should still talk to the seller about what a circumstance that, would look like where you are, breaking the law in terms of discrimination.
Right. Yeah. Maybe don't text, hey, I want to pick the family.
Wow.
Or, hey, I don't know.
I think negotiations really should be done over the phone. If you're an agent, negotiating tip, here you go. Do your negotiating over the phone or in person with your clients so that you can have a unrecorded conversation and then put the details of what you're trying to accomplish back into writing as a recap, a legal and clear recap of where you're going with the negotiation so that you can use that if something were to happen. But strategizing with your client, do that behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Do that on a unrecorded Zoom or phone call.
It's like you're almost foreshadowing for our marketeer.
Ooh, a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit.
I like that marketeer.
A little negotiating.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
We'll get there.
Anything else on the love? No,
letters? It's very interesting. And at the very least, this has caused there to be conversations. And I always like conversations.
The preliminary injunction ensures the law will remain unenforced as the lawsuit winds its way through the courts. So we're going to talk about this again in the future. The law's ultimate fate
continue to talk.
Has yet to be decided. So there you go. More to come on that, but it looks like a win for the Pacific Legal Foundation, which was representing, Nicole, Total Real Estate Group, Oregon-based Total Real Estate Group. And this was originally filed in November, and there's more to come. And we will certainly bring it to you first as soon as new information.
I wonder if that real estate company is really flooding with buyers now, Because here they are. I mean, they were pretty much representing every buyer in the state.
You made a great point. I'd love to know, maybe we should reach out to Total Real Estate Group. I'd love to know how this lawsuit has impacted business. Has business gone up since November? Have hits to the website gone up? Inquiry leads, is your ISA department buzzing?
Because
Like, what's going on?
because then at least we can confirm your PR allegation.
Well, my PR allegation was focused around the attorney. I thought it was an unwinnable case, especially in Oregon. And for them to take it on, I thought they were doing it. They're a libertarian group. That I've never really actually seen an attorney, a law office rather, like go out and say, we're a libertarian legal group. So obviously libertarian means like we want less government restrictions. I've rarely seen a legal group or, a law office brand themselves as a political group there. That seems odd, but I did think they were doing it for PR, but hey, they won the first battle. We'll see where it goes. Hats off to them. And I agree. I had a lot of people when I posted the poll on Instagram. I had a lot of people say they were happy with this, but then a lot of people say that this is agents I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Discriminatory. So there's still a divide on where you sit on this.
Right.
I've always said, and I said it in past episodes,
yeah,
as a listing agent, I just don't want to waste my time with these. But when you're trying to win for your buyer, if you can get an advantage out of it and you can do it legally, go for it. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip from The Real Word, click here for another one.
Or if you like the full episode, click here.